let us see the agriculture versus urbanization. It is one of the major factor in the environmental impacts on agriculture. What is urbanization? Urbanization is a population shift from rural to urban areas and the ways in which society adapts to the change. It predominantly results in the physical growth of urbanization. So normally urbanization has been strengthened by the rapid growth in the world economy and the proportion of gross world product and of workers in industrial and service enterprises. Globally, agriculture has met the demands of this rapidly growing urban population, including food that is more energy, land, water, and greenhouse gases emission intensive. But hundreds of millions of urban dwellers suffer undernutrition. So, the key issue with the regard to agriculture and urbanization are whether the growing and changing demands for agriculture products from growing urban populations can be sustained while at the same time underpinning agricultural prosperity and reducing rural and urban poverty. To this are added the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to build resilience in agriculture and urban development to climate change impacts. Let us see the urbanization in India. Urbanization is taking place at a faster rate in India. Population residing in urban areas in India, according to 1901 census was 11.4%. This count increased to 28.53% according to 2001 census and crossing 30% as per 2011 census, standing at 31.16%. Causes of urbanization. So the first one is industrialization. Industrialization is a major cause of urbanization. It has expanded the employment opportunities. Rural people have migrated to cities on account of better employment opportunities. So it is one of the unavoidable thing, that is the development in the way of technology. In the way of technology in the world is major impacts. So the people who is liking to develop their lifestyle and economically wants to improve their strategy, their state. In that case, they have to move from village to urban. So some of the social factors: attraction of cities, better standard of living, better educational facilities, need for status also induce people to migrate to cities. Obviously, the peoples who live in cities, they are having more exposure in all areas, especially in education and the standard of living, everything. In that way, the people is attracted more to migrate from our village to urban. Employment opportunities in rural sector, people have to depend mainly on agriculture for their livelihood, but Indian agriculture is depending on monsoon. In drought situations or natural calamities, rural people have to migrate to cities. Yes, every year India is facing lot of natural calamities like cyclone, tsunami, and some other factors. in which the people are mostly affected in that way. So in that case, in order to prevent them from this kind of natural calamities, they want to shift from village to urban. Then the next causes are modernization. Urban areas are characterized by sophisticated technology, better infrastructure, communication, medical facilities, etc. People feel that they can lead a comfortable life in cities and therefore they migrate to cities. Of course, the people that they can lead a comfortable life in cities and migrate to cities. So because they are characterized by sophisticated technology, better infrastructure, communication, medical facilities, etc. Whereas all the villages are having these facilities in insufficient manner. Then rural urban transformation. It is an interesting aspect that not only cities are growing in number, but rural community is adapting urban culture. No longer rural communities are retaining their unique rural culture. Rural people are following the material culture of urban people. Urban rural transformation can be observed in the following areas. Then impact of agriculture in food security. Urbanization, poverty, and socio-political unrest. Then different structure of households. Then higher vulnerability to food price volatility. Unemployment of people. Food security and waste management. Transportation of food from rural to urban cause rise in price. Lack of nutrition food makes unhealthy human society. In the case of climate change due to urbanization, the multiple rural urban linkages noted above mean that the climate change impacts on agriculture will affect urban areas. For instance, influencing food availability and price. And climate change impacts on urban areas will affect agriculture. For instance, disruptions in urban demand for agricultural produce and disruptions to the goods and services provided by urban enterprises to agriculture and to rural households. Many rural households would also suffer if remittances from family members working in urban areas were disrupted by climate change related impacts. Hundreds of millions of urban dwellers are at risk from the direct and indirect impacts of current and likely future climate changes, for instance, from more severe or frequent storms, floods, and heat waves, constraints on fresh water and food supplies, and higher risks from a range of waterborne, foodborne, and vector-borne diseases. Now let us see the urban agriculture. Urban agriculture, urban farming or urban gardening is the practice of cultivating process and distributing food in or around urban areas. Urban agriculture can also involve animal husbandry, aquaculture, agroforestry, urban beekeeping, and horticulture. Actually, hundreds of millions of urban dwellers rely on urban agriculture for part of their food consumption or income as they sell high value crops or non food crops or raise livestock for sale, growing crops, and are keeping livestock. The delivery among urban farmers, for instance, in Dar es Salaam, they included professional teachers, government officials, urban planners, and students, casual laborers, the unemployed, part time workers. Urban and peri-urban agriculture has a significant role in food and nutrition security in most low income nations. In many cities, it is more difficult for the urban poor to get access to the land needed for agriculture. Urbanization brings major changes in demand for agricultural products, both from increase in urban population and from changes in their diets and demands. This has brought and continues to bring major changes in how demands are met and with the farmers, companies, corporations, and local and national economies who benefit and who lose out. It can also bring major challenges for urban and rural food security. Thank you. So, with this, I conclude this urbanization.